Okay, our friend Bear is still traveling, and so they're not going to be able to make the thumbnail again. So Lisa already knows what the deal is. But Sean, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to make a YouTube thumbnail pose. Whatever you think that may mean, you're going to do it. And then you're going to hold it for like 5 seconds, and then we'll begin. All right, here we go, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Hey, before we begin the show, I want to thank all of our $10 Patreons, and I hope Lisa doesn't get off on a queer eye for the straight guy here. Silent Partner, thank you so much to Silent Partner. Bear, thank you to Bear. I hope you come back soon. We miss you on the show. Katie Coon, thank you so much to Katie. Brenda, you're awesome. Isabel, thank you so much for being a Patreon member. Tim, thank you. Rose Rodriguez, thank you. And Sandy, thank you so much to Sandy. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Whatever with Jason Soto. I'm Jason here with my pal, Lisa Sally Haynes in the house.
Me.
Ow! And our pal Bear is still traveling. They're in the air somewhere. They're in the sky. They're doing something. They might be here for the next episode. I don't want to make any promises. But to fill in for Bear, we got somebody who I think is a good fit for us. I don't know why I've waited this long to have this gentleman on our show from the Cabot Cove Confab podcast, where he talks about Murder, She Wrote with his pal Steve. It is Sean. Hey, Sean, welcome to Whatever.
All right, thank you. Let me give a big Jessica Fletcher wave. Freeze frame, roll credits.
Yes. Play the song.
Love it.
So just to spend a minute with Sean here. So I follow you on Facebook, because the restraining order does not count on Facebook, unfortunately. And
I love those loopholes.
You are a champion for children, aren't you? You just love kids, don't you? Left and right. Gosh,
this already
golly,
sounds creepy.
Get him. All the children surround him with just children nonstop.
No, I hate children. I hate babies. I was at Jiffy Lube one time, and in their waiting area, they have a little children table, too small to sit at, but they have this annoying thing with a hammer. And one time I was in there and I had to wait behind this lady, and she's talking to the guy behind the counter while her child is incessantly banging this device with the hammer that was provided.
God.
I will never, you're never going to see me on the news as one of those horrible people that does like a mass shooting or something. But I swear to God, that day, I must have been really hungover or something. I felt like I was going to die. I really did. I think I'm going to say everybody, I can't tell you. And babies, I just can't stand how, I'm sorry. Lisa, do you have children?
None of us on this show have kids.
Nope. And I will not, because I agree with you.
Yeah, people. If you invite people to a party and you say on there, adults only, people are offended by this.
Good.
Left and right.
They didn't want you there.
Because children and babies suck the life out of a party. They suck the time out.
I keep seeing these restaurants where they're trying to make them no kids in them.
Mm-hmm.
Adults only. I can't think of any specific right now, but I've seen a few of them.
Kids, they don't teach them how not to run around a restaurant where people are carrying heavy trays full of food.
And that just sounds like a dream. A restaurant with no kids, holy shit! Sign me up for that. I want to go there all the time.
Unfortunately, I don't know if something like that would be legal, or you have to check with the dwarves. But yeah. Can I also just say shout out to every TARDIS that we have on screen? I don't know if you noticed.
I don't have any. Sorry.
Yeah.
There are no TARDISes in my home.
I'm
not
sorry,
anti-TARDIS.
Lisa.
It's just not my realm.
Lisa,
I have for the audio listeners, I'm wearing my Deadpool coming out of a TARDIS shirt, which got a lot of compliments at my work today. So
there you go.
I typically don't wear this to work, but today was kind of like a loosey-goosey day at work, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll put on the Deadpool shirt.
Do you remember when you would wear shirts like that, and people would be like, Doctor Who, is that the one with the scarf? Nowadays, they don't say that.
They don't. They don't. They say, is that the one with the black guy?
I don't think it's soon enough. My agent told me that we would not be talking about. No, it's okay.
But yeah, I don't have kids, but it wasn't for like any specific reason. It's just never happened. And I'm gonna be 44 in like 2 weeks, and I think that might just be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, after a while, you're like,
I do not want to be Al Pacino, who's like 87 and
Oh
just
my God.
fathered.
Well, it's because
a
he doesn't
child.
take any of them. He doesn't do anything with them. He's
Yeah.
just screwing anything that'll walk. It gets pregnant, and they figured they can live off him for the rest of its life. You know, like, what are you going to do?
Like I remember hearing that like last year, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Al
It's true.
Pacino?
Accurate.
Like I can't even like that doesn't even sound like a fun time to have sex with Al Pacino. Like, "Hoo-ah! Oh yeah. Oh.
I mean, he damn well better.
Didn't Robert De Niro also have a kid?
I think so.
Yeah, they both have them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just weird. Old dudes stop having kids.
Joe Pesci probably had one too.
Oh,
I remember in the 90s, because I used to watch David Letterman in the 90s, he would joke to Tony Randall. If anyone remembers Tony Randall, I'm making an old reference here, but
Yes,
Tony Randall, he was like in his 90s and he fathered a kid. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how is that even possible?
Jason, you've shattered my dreams. I thought Tony Randall was gay. This is horrible news.
I'm
Oh, my
sorry.
goodness.
I am so sorry.
But
I am so sorry.
I do remember the time, I think that they just took supposedly they took a bunch of random people and put them on a bus to travel somewhere. And then Dave's like, you're not going to travel alone because Tony Randall is here. And Tony Randall got on the bus with them and like he went a block and then he got off. And then all the people went on this like cross country trip.
Oh, they thought he was going to stick with them the entire ride.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I miss those days. Tony Randall's now dead.
So are a lot of those other people.
And there's a 13-year-old who doesn't have a father.
Yeah, he probably goes to school and he's like, "Oh, I'm Tony Randall's son."
I wonder what kind of clout that gets you. What kind of clout?
Not much.
What kind of clout?
They're all confused. They think he's actually Jack Lemmon's son.
Hey, my dad is Adam Sandler. Oh yeah, well, my dad's Tony Randall.
Yeah, that's not a good day at the celebrity.
Yeah, your
kids'
dad could
school.
beat up my dad because he's dead. Oh my God. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Do you guys peruse Facebook Marketplace?
No.
No.
Oh my God, you should. It is probably the greatest thing on the face of the planet. It's basically a flea market on the internet, and I mean that in the best way possible. Because you find some wacky shit on there.
Mhm.
And you find some wacky ass people on there. I've only ever bought two things on Facebook Marketplace, and there was a board game and a VCR. Because I collect VCRs and I need working VCRs
You
because I got
collect VCRs?
and
Yeah.
I do not want to be judged at this time. No
Wait,
questions at this
I'm
time.
not judging you. Why do you
Yes,
need
you
more than
are.
one? No, because mine is still
Because
attached to my
they
TV.
break. It's 2024 and they break, and they're not really easy to get. So
Oh, that's
when you
fair.
see one on sale, you just grab
That
it and
makes
then
sense.
you store it in your closet. And then when the one you're using
He's
breaks,
still explaining, Sean. I've already accepted it, and he's still explaining.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm judging nothing.
have
I'm
to-
the one who has one still attached to my TV.
I have to explain for the listeners who are judging me and
They
writing their
stopped
emails to
listening
me.
too.
To their emails to me right now.
They're not
No.
listening anymore. They've already
Um,
turned off the episode.
Yeah,
Sorry,
this is
Sean.
over. It's just two people at this point.
They're just you're gonna miss Sean's big musical number at the end of the episode.
See,
That's on
if
them.
only-
That's
if
on
only you
that's
had-
on them.
I'm gonna do Mr. McAfee from Bye Bye Birdie seeing kids.
You buried the lead. You should have gone off with that first.
No, that's a show closer. That's how you end a show. No, so I bought a VCR. Just a quick story about this. One of the things about when you collect VCRs, it's very rare that it comes with a remote.
Mm.
And this is probably seems
I
weird.
wouldn't buy it if it didn't have the remote, but that's
Well,
just
no, no,
me.
no. But here's the problem, Lisa. Then you would not be buying any VCRs on the internet because they are very hard to come by.
I
Like
have mine.
seriously.
I
No,
have
but I'm
mine.
being dead serious. If you were to look
Yeah.
up right now VCRs on Marketplace,
Yep.
like they're all gonna say no remote, no remote,
I
no
don't want
remote.
it.
Now this one that I bought said has the remote, and
Fancy.
she lived like 20 minutes from me, and I was like, "Yo, is the VCR still on sale?" And she's like, "Yes."
But there's no
And
remote.
well, no, but she said there was,
Oh.
and so I'm like, I'm on my way, and so I don't drive just to make the story like how more complicated things got for me. I don't drive, so I had to, and she only took cash. So I had to Uber to my bank,
Mm.
take money out of the ATM, get back into the Uber to the lady's house, tell the guy I'll be like 2 minutes, go to the door, and she just had the VCR on her porch, and she had like a little like pumpkin thing with like a lid. And like she sent me a message like put the money in the pumpkin, close the lid, and then you could take the VCR, right?
Or
Like I
else
felt
it
like I
gets
was
the hose again.
now, I didn't explain to the driver what I was doing. So you got to look at this from his point of view. I'm picking up some guy that looks like this who went to a bank to get money, an undisclosed sum of money. Then I'm taking him to a house where he's just standing on a porch and he's putting money into a
Pumpkin.
Oh my
but
god.
eventually he saw the VCR and then he figured it out. Thankfully. But the moral of the story to this is the remote did not work because it was the wrong remote for the VCR.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Because I'm like, I hooked it up to my TV and I'm pushing the thing and like nothing's happening. And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
I'm changing the battery, I'm making sure. And then I just happen to glance at the brand of the VCR and the brand of the remote, and they do not match.
Oh my god.
So wait, I have questions.
Yeah, by all
For
means.
Jason, I have to follow up this. I collect VCRs with. Do you collect VHS tapes? Are you one of these
Yes,
people?
I have
Okay.
VHS tape. I have a bunch.
With the clamshell and all that.
Everything.
That's really cool, but I really don't get it. Because I mean, I collect DVDs and Blu-rays. I have a whole
I can
wall
explain.
of them. I will never
It's a
ever.
nostalgia thing.
Yeah, it's also I think it's a practical thing because I trust physical media. I have a
Yep.
strong distrust for streaming.
Yep.
That's fair. That's
And
fair.
I'll listen to podcasts where people are like, "Yeah, I saw this movie. It's streaming and so," where they'll say, I can't find this movie anywhere." And then I'll do a search and I'm like, it's $5 on DVD. It's like $1 more than you would pay to rent it from Amazon.
Right.
It's like, why not invest in that? But yeah, explain the infatuation because I don't get 4K. I have 4K. I don't get it though. I sincerely don't see a huge difference between
Okay.
4K and Blu-ray.
It's
And
it's
DVD is obviously much better than VHS. And I actually bought a whole
Okay.
bunch of VHS tapes back in the day. I had like the Twilight Zone collection on VHS.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I
Now,
bought
see, that's cool.
one thing, Star Trek The Next Generation Columbia House edition. It was like it could take up a
Columbia
room.
House.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But what for you, what is the allure?
Okay. One part of it is what Lisa says, nostalgia. Just because
Mhm.
that was the media when I was a kid in the 80s, going into the 90s. I didn't get my first like blue or DVD until like 2003. And then the other thing of it is a lot of movies or
lot of
shows
horror
or
stuff.
specials do not make their way to DVD.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
Horror
Mm.
stuff is not. Is
There's a
all on
lot, and
VHS.
especially like the movies of the 80s that were directly
Yep.
shot on video.
Yep.
Some of those don't make it to DVD. Now, there is a company called Vinegar Syndrome that
Yes.
is doing like their part in trying to get these onto Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. But still, not everything makes it. Stuff falls through the cracks, and there's movies that people just don't exist or that they don't exist, so they don't do anything with them. And so it's mainly that. So yeah, keep in mind, I'm not buying like Titanic on VHS
Right.
or anything like that.
Although that's a thing.
Oh, it
There
is a thing.
There is a guy that collects like Titanic everything.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
movie
'cause
Titanic.
there's a joke about like every time you go to like a flea market or a thrift shop or something, there's always at least one copy of Titanic
yeah.
on VHS.
And you know what else? I'm the one who sold it to them. Because in 1998, when that movie came to VHS, my Blockbuster had a contest to see who could get the most pre-sales, and I won.
Oh.
So I'm the one who sold that copy of that.
And it's just floating around all across the country.
100%. The other thing, Sean, is one of the reasons I don't collect VHS, but I do have a couple of movies on VHS. I have Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 on VHS. I bought Skinamarink on VHS because I had to have it.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
wow.
Me too.
I needed that on VHS. And I did, Jason, during our episode on Sunday, pre-order that Umbrella VHS set. I have that coming from Late Night with the Devil.
Yes.
Oh, really? Yep. That's
so I bought that on VHS. But the other thing, I have Empire Records on VHS.
Me too.
And you cannot get the VHS version of that film on DVD. There's a remix version. It's got a blue cover instead of the white cover that Empire Records has.
Yes.
And the version that I've memorized, because we watched it so much when I was a teenager, is not the version on the DVD or on streaming. So I keep it because that's the version of the movie that I like.
Not that I'm trying to convince you anyway, but I think they've got a new version now of Empire Records where it's back to the normal version. Yeah. And I think like the remix is like an option.
The other thing, I have a copy of Nightmares on VHS, which is an old like made for TV movie anthology. It's my favorite anthology horror film. And it's like Emilio Estevez and the Bishop of Battle. And I had to have that on VHS because it's just, it's like it's the old thing. So like new movies, unless it's meant to be on VHS, like Skinamarink, I don't need it on VHS. I won't care so much.
But yeah, so that's why now there are stuff that like I am trying to get all of the Friday the 13th on VHS, and it's a slow process. Just because I love those movies and it'll be kind of cool to have them on VHS. Yeah. But otherwise, a lot of my stuff is just kind of harder to find, things that don't make its way to, to DVD or Blu-ray.
I wore out my copy of Friday the 13th on VHS. That was my go-to for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Fair.
I remember one day I was working from home. I'm sitting there and, I'm the type of person where I need to have something playing on the television at all times.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll explode or something. I don't know. And I just put on the Friday the 13th movies because I've got the big pack from Arrow Screen Factory. Where is that, Arrow? And partner comes in. You're still watching this movie? I'm like, this is part 3.
It's the one where he gets the mask. It's important. Yeah. I gotta watch
it. But a fun fact about VHS, and I'm going to bring it back to the TARDIS again, is that years and years ago when I lived in Chicago, and that was 20 plus years ago, I would collect Doctor Who episodes, and they were coming out on VHS. And the only place in downtown Chicago where you could buy Doctor Who on VHS was Borders. Y'all remember this place?
I remember Borders. I love Borders.
Of course, I'm an English teacher. I absolutely know Borders.
I could spend all fucking day. I'm sorry, can we swear in this?
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
All fucking day in Borders. And for some reason, I think I like Borders more than Barnes & Noble, even though I don't know why.
Same.
But I got these, and there was an old William Hartnell episode from the 60s of Doctor Who called The Chase. It's a really dumb episode or story. It's 6 episodes long. It's really dumb.
Yep. I'm familiar.
But there is a point in the beginning where they showed the Beatles singing, because the Doctor has this stupid machine, and I say stupid with the nicest intent.
You're not going to offend me. You're okay.
No, seriously. A lot of the stuff in Doctor Who is pretty stupid. Where you could just plug in.
Don't let Lackey hear you say that.
Oh, okay. You could just plug in some coordinates and see any point in space and time. So they They spend like 10 minutes, they have Shakespeare talking to the Queen, and they tune into the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn it off, and William Hartnell goes, "Oh, you squashed my favorite Beatles." Well, when that was brought out on DVD in the US, they had to take out the part with the Beatles in it because fucking lawyers, man.
Yep.
And their copyrights and shit.
Sounds about right.
So they're just
yeah.
looking at a blank screen then?
No, they just took out that whole
The
part.
whole sequence? Oh, man.
And it was probably about 45 seconds long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons I remember back in the day I really wanted to see the movie Pink Flamingos. I had read about it. I had read John Waters' book. I'm like, I got to see this shit. Is it as bad as everybody?
Of course.
Yeah. So I literally ended up calling New Line Home Entertainment. I called them.
Wow.
I would never do this now because we have the internet. And they explained to me that they couldn't release the movie yet because there were issues with the rights to all the music that was in it. Because there's a lot of music in that movie.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Marketplace. So Facebook.
I'm so sorry. I ruined your
You're
Marketplace
good.
story.
No. That's the whole point of the show. This is the
Okay.
show. You're fitting right in. Facebook Marketplace, I urge you, just later tonight when you got nothing going on, just go to it and just look at all the shit that's around where you guys live. Because you're going to find some wonderful things. You're going to find some bootlegs. But the thing that fascinates me, and okay, I have no proof of this. Okay. I want to stress right now. One, I have no proof of this. And two, I am not urging anyone listening to this to do what I'm about to say. Okay.
Oh, God.
I do not want lawyers coming after me, but I have a theory about something. And Lisa knows when I have a theory about something, it gets scary.
Oh, God.
Okay. I get when I'm just scrolling through Marketplace, whatever, and there's board games, video games, movies, DVDs, VHS, all this stuff. Every now and then I will see a woman standing wearing a clothing item, either it's a shirt, a dress, a pair of pants, and just standing there, and it'll just say,
wait, I have a question. I'm so sorry to interrupt your beautiful story. Where will you see the woman standing? Because I need to have some predicate for this story. Is she in your dreams?
It'll be no. It varies. It's either she's standing in front of a mirror, so you see like a mirror selfie, or like it's literally like she extended the phone from her to show the item of clothing in question.
Okay.
I always wonder, because I see this so much, and I'm pointing this out because they're wearing the clothes, okay? They're wearing it. I wonder if this is some like undercover sneaky way of prostitution. Because why show wearing the clothes? Why not just have the dress on a bed or
so I can answer that. There are people who want to see how the clothes will hang on a person.
Why?
Because when they're buying clothes online, frankly, I do the same thing because I subscribe to Stitch Fix, which is that like mail order thing where they send you 5 pieces and you try them on and you send them back. So when I'm browsing to see various clothing items, it just shows me a picture with like outfit ideas. I will always click to see how it looks on a person of my size. So now, looking at the size of whatever the article of clothing is, I want to see how it hangs on somebody.
Absolutely.
So that's probably what you're getting.
Okay, no, but I need to explain why I came to this theory as well, not just because I'm being me. There used to be a thing on Craigslist where you could hook up with other people.
Mm-hmm.
They took that away recently.
It's like 10 years ago, but okay.
Well, I thought it was more recent than that, but whatever. Okay, so, but that's like my theory. And also, some of them are like posing in really specific manners. Like, some of them are showing off their boobs, or some of them showing off their ass. Some of them are like in certain like positions, and then they're like, here's an old pair of Levi's for $15. And something just feels up with that. Like I'm just scrolling through this and I feel like this is like if I contact this person about it, there's going to be all these follow-up questions that's eventually going to lead, hey, hand job for $55. And I'm like,
No.
oh, there it is. And I want to stress again, this is Facebook Marketplace, which is basically like a fucking no man's land of anything can happen. Like this isn't just like, I'm trying to go to Amazon to buy clothing. This is people uploading shit. And again, it's a theory. I have no proof behind this.
No.
I've never contacted these women. I've never done that. I do not want anyone doing this. This is just a fun theory that I had as I'm looking for the next Aladdin clamshell on VHS.
Aladdin clamshell is not code for something else.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me just go back to my VHS tapes because I don't trust it. I don't know if I would trust buying clothes from a stranger on Marketplace either. Like any of it. Like, cause, people are gross.
I agree. I wouldn't buy
Accurate.
clothes for me. I mean, I just think it's horrid. I'm like, oh, well, if I ever had to go on a budget and go to Goodwill, I don't know. I'd be like Karen from Will and Grace or something.
Mm.
But if you really, I think that's a great idea, Jason, and I'm making note of it because that's like, well, if you want to go have a good time, go buy pants from Jennifer for $15.
And that's code.
But let me tell you something, Jennifer with the $15 pants, it's not worth it because she gets a million messages a day that says, "Is it still for sale? Is it still for sale? Is it still for sale?"
That is
still for
very
sale?"
accurate.
So all Jennifer needs to do is go and apply to many of the massage websites, and there you go.
That's another thing.
Heard from friends.
That is another thing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I think what also made me think of this theory is that like on multiple days I would see the same post and I would just be like, was that not sold yet? Did they not sell the pair of jeans? Like that seems weird and odd. So that's why it makes me think like there's something happening.
No, it's honest to God, like, and there's another thing, like people are fucking stupid. They will sit and follow your item until you lower it by like $3.
Yeah.
I was selling stuff on Poshmark for a little while because when my aunt passed away, she was like a crazy shopaholic. Like, I'm surprised QVC didn't send us a condolence card. And I wish I was kidding because the boxes that kept coming for 2 weeks after she passed was insanity. She was a hoarder. And with bags, with jeans, with shoes, you wouldn't even know. All designer stuff, all with the tag still on it. So I'm like, I'm going to make a shit ton of money. I'm going to sell all this stuff online. Come to find out, I don't have the hustle to even bother. But anyway, so now I bring shit to yard sales and I'm like, hey, free to a good home. But anyway, when you sell this stuff, you're selling it at such a fraction of what you paid for it. Like women's jeans, you're paying like $75. And you put it online for 15, being like, you know what, it's something. And somebody will nickel and dime you and be like, well, how about 13? Hey, how about 8? Mm-hmm. And you're like, fuck you. Somebody will pay my 15 and they turn out they don't. And then you just can't stand it anymore.
Yep.
People are obnoxious.
My partner sells succulents via Facebook. And it's a patience endure. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I could. I think I tried once to sell like some extra like board games that I got on Marketplace, and it just wasn't like a nightmare.
It's so irritating.
Because I would get that whole like, is it still for sale thing, and then I would get like the bargainers or the hagglers who would be like, oh, you're trying to sell this for like $40? I'll buy it for 10. And I'm like, no, dude, I paid like 80 for this. You're lucky I'm even selling it for 40.
Well, that's just it. Some of these bags, like these crazy Coach bags and Michael Kors and shit she paid $500 for. I'm selling it for 40. They're going, how about 10? No. I'm like, it's real. No, 40 is plenty.
This is why eBay is preferable, I think, if you have the wherewithal. Because I have, looking right over here, I have like 30 or 40 Doctor Who CDs from Big Finish that I need to get rid of.
Mhm.
I can't just get it together to just sell that shit on eBay. Like, I'm not that hungry. I don't want to. I even went and bought for like $10, like a whole box of like DVD
Oh,
or
yeah.
CDs, mailers.
Like cases and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
had so many post office supplies and shit downstairs. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, when you're selling shit, you become like an expert in
Because you're
package
totally
package.
gonna do it. You're gonna like do a
packaging.
side hustle. You're gonna make
Yeah.
so much money. I mean, I'm
I
pretty sure I made about $1,000 eventually, but then the shit that I finally just was like, get it out of my house.
Now we're making
anymore.
fun a little bit, but I do have a friend back actually in Chicago, and that is kind of how he supports himself because
Totally.
he has to live with his dad because the dad's in failing health, and so he can't really get a job either because he has to constantly be at the house. And so what he does is when he does get free time, he goes to like yard sales and thrift stores and Goodwills and whatnot and
Yep.
buy like VHS tapes and DVDs and CDs and stuff, and then he'll resell them on
is
It's
eBay.
amazing. Yep.
Yeah, and
That's
that's how he
great.
makes his money. And so he knows how to like package all this shit. And sometimes if I'm trying to ship like a movie, I ask him, I'm like, hey, do you happen to know what like the shipping rate would be for this? And he'd like be like, yeah, it's this much. And I'm like, cool, thanks. Like it's really good to know that
It's
ahead
a
of
whole
time.
thing, but I can't be bothered. I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of hustle.
I don't know if I
I
had the
agree.
patience. That's my thing. I don't know how he does it, but he
Some
you gotta
people
have the
love it. They
patience.
thrive on that online business kind of thing. I got a friend who's opening a brick and mortar store because she does beads, and she totally hustled on Etsy for like 2 or 3 years, and now she's opening her own shop because she's got such a following all over the country. And it's like, you know what? God bless. Like she's into it. She can do that. Go to it. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Can I brag about something?
By
right
all
now?
means, yes.
Speaking of selling shit online, so when I was a kid in grade school, that's K through 8 for anybody that's not from the Midwest. I would spend a lot of my free time at the library. Nerd!
Same.
And I
Same.
wasn't there like studying science or anything. I actually was addicted to their choose your own adventure section, which was fully stocked. And they didn't just have choose your own adventure, but they also had these books called Endless Quest,
Yep.
which were, I think they got a license from TSR, which is the company that, well, they didn't invent it, but they published Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a bunch of, for lack of a better word, game books or choose your own adventure books. So this is the last one I got. This is number 7.
I love it.
And I think I paid probably $5 for it, and it came in the mail. And of course, I have to hear, why'd you get that? That's just an old book. I'm like, it's going to give me happiness.
Exactly.
For 1 hour, it will give me happiness. And then I started to realize, I bought 7 of these things. I bought them 1 through 7. And then I start to research them. And it turns out there's like 20 something in the series. I'm like, okay, I can buy all 20. No problem. No. You can't, because one of them is like retailing for, not retailing, but
Right,
one of them's on
yeah.
eBay for $500.
Oh,
Ain't
yeah.
Nobody got time for that. No, I'm not buying that for $500.
No, I wouldn't.
So
yeah.
aggravating.
No. So one of my going back to the VHS thing really quick. I'm gonna tell you another quirky thing I do. I like when I go to like a Goodwill or Salvation Army or whatever, and they have what I'll call blank VHS tapes. Meaning like they're the ones that you can record at home.
Oh, yes.
But
yes, I know
they
where you're
don't.
going at.
Sometimes they're not labeled, and so it's like a Russian roulette. Like you like I love those so
It's like
much.
storage wars almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Tape wars.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy this, and I want to see what's on here, and I will browse eBay. There's like always a bunch of these on eBay, and to kind of get around the whole thing of like, well, this is technically a movie taped off of HBO in like 1985, they have to label it a used blank tape.
Yeah.
Because if you say, hey, I'm selling Beetlejuice, recorded from HBO in 1989 or whatever, they're going to get flagged by eBay, and whoever owns Beetlejuice, Tim Burton's going to come to your house and make weird art for you.
He's going to turn you into Johnny Depp. And I'm like, okay, here's my $10.
But I always look through these on eBay, and they're always like up to $100, and I'm like, I really want to buy a box full of these, but I don't know if $100 is something I kind of want to spend right now, because like it's so tempting. I almost always hit the buy button. I'm like, oh, it's a box full of these tapes, but it's like $100. It's a lot.
That would be a great YouTube video. I'm sure somebody has already done it. But...
There kind of is. I watched some of them. That's how addicted I am to this. There's a few. There's one guy who's kind of popular. I can't remember his name right now at this moment, but like he does buy like those tapes, and then on recording on air, he puts them in a VCR, and then he'll show them. And you always think it's gonna be like someone's sex tape or some, like a snuff film or something. But it's always ended up being like a Masterpiece Theater from like 1991. Or
hey, I like that. That's Diana Rigg. That's the Diana Rigg era, I think.
I love it.
Or sometimes it'll be like someone's birthday party or like a graduation, or like one time I saw somebody's like wedding.
I think that's fascinating.
It is kind of cool.
I would actually, a bottle of schnapps, and that would be an evening for me.
It's really fun. It's really cool to kind of see what it is. Now, the ones that I've bought, like they were just always just movies. Like I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Charles Bronson movie, The Evil That Men Do.
Nope.
I have that like taped from like an HBO from like 1987 or whatever year. Which is cool because it has the HBO beginning with the the floating
the old classic
through.
one.
Yeah. So it has that. Which I got excited for when that came on. I was like, "Ooh, it's from HBO. It's got the old thing," and then I didn't know what the movie was until the title.
Thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
So wait, question now. When you look at these tapes, what do you want to discover?
See, I don't just something weird, something. It would be kind of funny if it was like someone's sex tape.
And you probably wouldn't want to watch it.
No, it's going to be two of the grossest looking people on the face of the planet. I absolutely I want to. No, it would depend on the person.
No, he would make us watch it on this show. That's what he would do. He would make Bear and me watch this friggin' thing.
I love Lisa.
And he would record our episode because I'm right.
I love Lisa so much.
That's what he would do.
Oh God!
Does this mean I get to come on the show more often?
You want to do that kind of thing? Yes.
Okay, for real, if I find that, Sean, would you want to come on and be a guest on that episode? Because Lisa put the idea in my head, so I may just do that.
You are lying if you say you never had that idea.
It never occurred to me until you said that. But then I'm like, that's actually a fun idea.
Fuck.
I just made my life.
This is actually a really good beginning of a good like crime movie.
He did this thing where he had us. It was some random website he had found where it was like, are they siblings or are they?
Oh yeah,
right.
Right.
And I can absolutely see him seeing. Okay, this tape. Is it a movie or is it porn? I can absolutely seeing this happen.
I just hold up a VHS.
Write it down because I know it's going to happen. It's going to be some nasty, crusty, dirty tape, and he's going to try and like bait us and make us think it's porn.
He'll be like Letterman in the 90s, going back to Letterman. It'll be like taped to a blackboard. Okay, this one, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be that tape
movie,
that's
real
labeled.
Movie or porn.
It's going to be labeled Grandma's Birthday, and it's going to be porn.
It is.
Because nobody wants to watch Grandma's Birthday.
It is.
And that's what makes that tape safe.
I remember
understand.
Years and years ago when I had this roommate. He's like, come here, son, I want to show you something. I'm like, what is it? No, but we had a history of showing videos that were funny. Like back before like YouTube videos would go viral. So he shows me Grandma's Birthday. It wasn't the name of the video, but it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And and I'll never forget it at the end. It wasn't anything, complicated. She goes, "Oh, that was good." Now, my friend and I, every time like we just say, "Oh, that was good."
Was this in Fargo? Or did you get this tape in Fargo?
No, I don't know. Well, first of all, the man was Ron Jeremy, and this is before, it's probably
yeah.
God help us all.
Yeah, so it was not a titillating video at all.
Titillating.
It was just.
Oh wait, it was a professional porn. I thought this was someone's.
No, yeah.
I thought this was someone's.
Porn.
Oh, okay, that's somehow even funnier.
He only had like 45 seconds or a minute of it, so it was a clip that he found that someone took from something. And I don't. Maybe I don't want to know like how they set this up, why they did it, but. You know what? People got to get into what they want to get into. And if they want to buy a VHS of it and it's legal.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's not like a specific thing I'm looking for. I just think they're funny and it's amusing.
Yeah,
and it'll be kind of cool to catch like, I can't think of an example, but like sometimes they'll only air like a one-time showing of some like special.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or stuff like that, or just some like wacky ass horror movie, like back to the horror stuff, anything like that, or whatever. Like I'm just not a specific thing that I'm looking for. There's things that would be funny if I found it, like the porn tapes, but otherwise I just like to see what it is.
Of course.
It's
a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Basically,
and you know what's fun? If you find movies that people recorded off of TV, the real pleasure in that isn't the movie, but the commercial.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You used to have a YouTube video for that, didn't you, Jason? With that kind of stuff?
For
old commercials and stuff?
No. I'm not really sure what you're talking about. I'm going to be completely honest. I swear.
I swear to God, I thought you had some
I did watch some.
Okay. Maybe
that's like another.
Maybe it was like an episode of something you did.
I may have done like a Patreon exclusive thing.
Maybe
where
that's
we were
what I'm
watching
remembering.
commercials. But no, that's also my jam. Like I do like will purposely watch like 90s commercials on YouTube.
Hey, dude,
because that is
everybody's got their
fun.
comfort viewing. Everybody's got their thing. I love that.
Yeah, I've not come across that either. Actually, I've not come across anything taped off of like a TV. Like the closest thing, is I had a friend who taped the 5th anniversary special of Late Night with Conan O'Brien and let the commercials play. That's like the closest thing, but that was a friend who did it. So, because he was moving and he was like, "Hey, I got these VHS tapes. You want them?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was going through them. I did say, "I'm not gonna find a porn tape because I like you, but I don't want to see your dick." And he was like, "No, you're not going to see my dick in any of these videos." And I'm like,
not
cool.
His anyway.
He said his dick. He specifically said his dick.
See someone else's?
I'm fine with seeing other people's dicks. I just didn't want to see his dick.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now that we know, Jason. Now
we've got the clarity.
Yeah.
I watch straight porn. What do you want from me?
Nothing.
God damn you for watching straight porn. It doesn't fit. You can no longer watch Doctor Who.
Mark!
Heather!
We need to tell people why they should listen to our show, Word of Hellmouth, in 45 seconds.
All right. For one, you and I are hardcore fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We know what we're talking about.
Anything else?
We are fun to listen to, and our off-topic conversations are legend.
Any other reason Scoobs out there should check us out, Mark?
Simply put, Heather, you and I are 5 by 5.
Oh, yeah!
Where can people find us, Heather?
You can find Word of Hellmouth anywhere you get your podcasts. Our home website at rabbitholepodcast.com or just hanging out at the Bronze.
And David Boreanaz, if you're listening, hit me up.
Me too. I don't care.
Hey,
Okay.
Lisa, I got a question for you.
What do you got?
So men have the stereotype of straight men have the stereotype of watching lesbian porn. Do women like get into gay porn?
I don't know. The closest I can give you is Queer as Folk. I don't know if you know how to answer this.
People get off on that.
Lisa,
That's
Lisa,
either the silliest
Lisa,
answer or the
Lisa.
stupidest answer. But I love that show.
Lisa, I God
There's
bless
some
you.
good-looking men.
I don't know how
I
to-
just want
I
to let
don't
you
know how
know
to
that
take
queer
that.
is, on the porn scale, queer as folk is like
Way
one
down.
quarter. Porn is like 10.
Sean,
There is a
Sean,
huge
dude, when I
delta.
tell you I'm a prude, I don't watch porn. I don't. So I'm not the one to ask. I'm sure somebody
Okay.
does because
It's
there's
You're
some
the only
good-looking men
female
in
here
gay
right
porn.
now. I can't ask anyone
There's some
else.
good. Of course they do because there's some good. The same way guys like lesbian porn is because that like straight men like lesbian porn is because there's hot chicks. They're gonna like, and
Yeah.
they also guys. There's that. You know what it is though? I'll tell you. Straight guys have. I'm generalizing because I'm trying to be
Sure.
I'm trying to be polite right now. God fucking knows why.
Yeah, why?
The stereotypical straight porn watching man doesn't want to see a guy doing the girl he's fantasizing about. He wants to think about only the girl. So when a guy shows up, he gets jealous and pissed off. So that's why straight guys like lesbian porn because it's just the two hot women.
That okay, keep going. I'm so sorry.
So I'm right so far, right?
I think so.
I will
yeah.
give it to you. I'll give it to you.
I will also say that although straight men are into lesbian porn, that's great when it's two attractive women, but when it comes to Fran and Vicky down in the camper down the street, there's no fucking way they're gonna watch that.
You're gonna
I mean,
find
that's
their
fair.
sex tapes.
So
Yeah.
for girls, I'm sure it's just a matter of we're gonna get off on the hot guys we're looking
I've
at.
always
So, I
wondered.
mean,
I've always wondered that.
I don't
Like,
know. I'm so pathetic when it comes to questions.
I
like this.
realize who I was asking, but you were
I'm
the only. You're
sorry.
the only woman that's around right now. So
I'm so lame. I know. I don't mean to be. It just,
I guess I just needed your perspective on it, but
Yeah, so I'm gonna logic you to death.
I guess
Unfortunately,
I should call back. I should call
intellectual answer.
back. I should call back Ashley and see what she says. Maybe
Yeah.
she'll give me more of an answer.
I'm sorry. I'm such a disappointment. I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
Oh
I can
my
see the
God.
reviews now. Yeah,
Oh,
Lisa
God.
couldn't answer questions about porn, so I'm not gonna.
I can't answer it.
Lisa
Well.
didn't lose her virginity till she was 31.
21.
I was making a joke,
But it's true.
okay.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know. This is not a good topic for me. I fucking miss.
Look how uncomfortable she is. This is why
Yes.
I say she's the prude of the show.
Partly
Because
it's because
like,
I'm
literally,
embarrassed
this
as an
is-
adult
this is-
woman that these are the
this
best
will
answers I can
happen.
give you. Yes.
this happens all the time, and then
Can I-
Lisa's just shrinks. She's gonna shrink down into her chair until
I
I
just-
don't call
I'm
on her
hiding
anymore.
behind the microphone at this point.
I'm gonna opine something. I'm
I
going
do
to
like
say,
queer as folk though. God damn it. Dude.
That's how Lisa gets off by watching Queer.
Dale Harold?
oh.
Absolutely. Are you fucking
Lisa,
kidding me?
what's the
Dale
name?
Harold all day.
What's the name of the guy from? Because the guy that looks like Jesus, and I don't even know which one he does. It's the hair guy or the
In what? What are we talking about?
in Queer Eye.
Oh, I don't watch that. I know who you mean though. Shit, give me a minute. I'll get.
Wait a minute. What did you say
Jonathan.
was
Jonathan Van Ness.
okay, yeah.
No,
I
I'm
was-
talking about Queer as Folk, the show on Showtime.
Oh,
the
fuck
remake
me.
of
I
the.
thought you were talking about Queer Eye. I am so sorry. Okay.
Oh my God, you really
Well,
thought I was.
That is hilarious. That's
Like,
even more
okay.
funnier.
Okay,
he
yeah.
really thought I was pathetic. That's really bad. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that moves up the porn scale a little
A
bit.
little
'cause Queer as
bit.
Folk is, yeah.
Oh my God. No, Jonathan Van Ness is who you're thinking about.
Lisa gets off to gay dudes.
No, whatever it does.
Wow.
I'm not gonna kink shame.
Sean was
No,
so
no, no.
sad.
I'm
Sean
trying to
was
finish a
gonna
sentence,
get
but I
off this
can't, 'cause it's so
episode,
funny.
And Sean was going to call friends and go, dude, you have to hear about this poor darling and how sad and
Lisa
pathetic
gets-
she is.
Lisa gets off to dudes making over other dudes. That's how she gets off.
I think I think I had a point. I think
Oh, the point is so gone now. Oh
yeah,
my
it's
God.
gone. It was something about gay porn and straight.
Oh
porn.
my
I don't
God.
know.
I
Oh,
hope
God.
Carl isn't driving while he listens to this because he just veered off the road dying at this.
Carl, I am so sorry.
Carl knows how
Oh,
pathetic I
God.
am, but that was an upper level pathetic.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I have a question, and
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know if discussion about movies and or TV shows is barred.
No,
Oh,
do
never,
whatever.
not here.
Dude, it's called whatever.
Yeah, because I watched the rest of the show last night. I watched one episode last week, and then I watched all the rest of it
Of
in
what?
one night last night. You know how you do.
What
Baby-
what'd you watch?
Baby Reindeer?
Oh, yes, I watched that.
Oh,
Yep,
I keep
yep,
hearing
yep, yep.
about that.
Yeah.
it upset me to the
Thank
point
you. This is
that
what I'm saying.
I almost walked away from it. And
Yes,
actually,
episode
no,
5.
after that episode, cheers.
Yep,
I
episode
walked
5.
away. I'm gonna watch. Oh, I thought you were doing the hand, like the
No,
high
I'm
five.
saying episode 5 because I went into the chat and I said, "Hey guys, the show Baby Rain," because it looks like it's a comedy. This is billed as a comedy. I said, guys,
Really?
when it has the content warning, adhere to it because they're not fucking around. Like people
you're
look at,
absolutely
oh,
right.
this might have some intense scenes for mature viewers, and people go, yeah, what the fuck ever. This, you need the content warning.
Do you know what though? I have to. This is really touchy. This is a really touchy subject.
Okay,
but
Yeah, go nuts.
I felt so disgusted by that episode. I turned it off. I went to YouTube and then I watched the rest of the series because I couldn't get enough of it.
Because you couldn't help it.
Yeah, but
it's an incredibly compelling show.
Is this how women feel? Like, I actually thought that, like, what he went through, like, there are women that go through this, and
100%.
I've never seen it.
Yes,
I've never seen it done with a woman like this. It sounds dumb, but in a TV show or a movie, it was done
without it being some sort of sensationalized. Yes,
yes.
This is because, and this is the whole Me Too movement. This is all of this stuff. It's because it's so naturally a part of culture that women are just complaining too much. It's not a big thing, and men don't report it because of that whole sociological cultural expectation for here's what it is to be man, here's what it is to be woman. That this is so jarring.
Yeah.
To get an idea of, oh shit, this is what it's like to be a woman. Yes. Yes. The whole bear thing online, whether or not you'd leave your kid with a bear or a man, and everybody is like flipping out over that. Accurate. Like a bear has expected behaviors. Whereas men, you can't judge what's going to happen in a big generalized context. That's yes, excellent. To answer your question, yes, that is what it's like.
Yeah, and his speech at the end was great. Like, give him an Emmy now. I don't know who the actor's name is. That's
he's
not
a
fair.
Actually, like he's an
really?
actual story. Like this is really what happened to him. I can't come up with his name offhand. I'm going to look it up for you.
She was great. Yes. But there is part of me was like, oh my God, they're going to remake this in America with Melissa McCarthy.
Oh God, seriously. His name is Richard Gadd, Gadd. Okay.
Wait, is it it's from a different country? I didn't know that. I thought British. It was
Scottish.
Oh,
he's Scottish.
Because I remember seeing like not a trailer, but like I've seen parts of like photos and stuff show up on the internet and Facebook and stuff, and people are just like, "This is the most intense show ever."
It is.
So that's why I didn't know about the comedy thing because everyone just keeps talking about how fucking wild and intense it is. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know anything about it.
I watched the first episode last week, and I think it was, you know how they do, like the first episode is always longer, the pilot episode is not that it's a pilot, but
yeah.
And I came away from there thinking, I get her side. I get his side. I am so compelled because I know she's got a crush on him, but he's just feeding her. And I'm like, dude, stop it. This isn't going to work out well. They end the episode and then you have to go to, and it gets worse. It gets way out of control.
It's that politeness.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that you're socialized to do. Like be polite about it because that's why you have an entire fandom. The My Favorite Murder podcast, like their motto is fuck politeness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's for your safety. Like I have been in a situation. I mean, we've all been in situations. Mine wasn't sexual, the one I always come up to, but the fuck politeness thing, when I absolutely in that moment went, fuck politeness, I'm moving. I was at a movie theater and I was sitting up in the center of the back row, just by myself, minding my business. And this guy came in and he sat in the seat right to my left.
Oh.
And I'm like, what is this? And the guy was mumbling to himself. And I'm like, whatever, you know, people talk to themselves. But he was getting angry. And it was just really weird and spooky. And I'm like, there was one other person in the theater. They were way down a couple rows. And I'm like, this is just, what is happening? And I sat there. Because at first it was funny, right? You text your friend, you know, this weirdo just sat next to me. Oh my God, you should move. And then it's like, all right, he's like talking to himself. They're like, what's he saying? You should listen. And then it starts getting scary. I ended up getting up and I went into the front row and I sat in the front row corner right next to the exit. And I could hear him. I mean, this is 5 rows back now. He's from me. And he's getting louder and louder and louder. And I went, you know what? I'm leaving. The movie hadn't even started yet. I got up and I left. I walked out. I found a manager. I let them know. I said, can you give me a refund for this movie that now I can't watch? And I left. I was so spooked. But I absolutely heard Karen Kilgariff in my head saying, fuck politeness. I'm like, I'm leaving because otherwise I would have sat there and I would have felt bad because this guy would have known I left because of him. Fuck you. I was scared.
Yeah.
Well, he should know better than to sit right next to someone.
That was what it was. It was weird.
That is a little weird. Everyone, we go to theaters, space yourselves out, man. Unless you can't. Unless it's full, you can't, but otherwise. And it was just you by yourself, and then he just plopped down next to you. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I also want to just be as far away from people, especially during a movie, like in a movie theater, because people are fucking awful in movie theaters. I don't know what is up with movie theaters where everyone's just like, we'll do whatever the fuck we want now. We're in a movie theater.
Oh, I've got, and by the way, Lisa, I like your story, and I'm obviously not going to vindicate there may have been some like mental illness there or something.
Yes.
And I, but it's when there's not mental illness. When like you can come by my house and drop those files off, and then show up at the door with wearing nothing but a bath towel. But
I've been very, very fortunate in my life because when I was in my 20s and we were clubbing, my girlfriends and me, every guy that we encountered was a gentleman, and we were very lucky. Because they would walk us to our car, and like if they saw somebody on the street who looked creepy, they would like hold their arm out in front of us. That kind of stuff happened. There were times, I think back about some of the things we did, and we could have been in real danger a lot of times. So I feel very, very fortunate that I apparently got lucky enough to encounter good guys every fucking time.
So the lesson here, women, is go clubbing in. Oh, wait, I can't say your real state.
In North Carolina.
In North Carolina. Go clubbing in North Carolina.
I don't even know that I would now. But, like, you think about these things where, like, these guys pressure you home and they follow you home. And, I mean, there's a reason why I don't, like, answer my door if somebody knocks on it and I'm not expecting anybody. Because we all watch all of these true crime things. We read them. We're all obsessed with it. And a lot of that is because it fuels our fear. And it also kind of teaches us what not to do. So any of us who like know these things, it's like, well, I'm not doing that. I've had people make fun of me because I won't leave my windows open on a first floor bedroom overnight. And I'm like, I know who Ted Bundy is. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Is it extreme? Yes. But you know what? I can't do it. If my sanity is going to be at the forefront, I'm going to do it. But yeah, like I have absolutely crossed the street because I didn't know who this person was approaching me. Parking garages. I will always park right near the door. Like if it's more than directly across from the door and 3 cars over, I will not park on that level. I will find a level where I can park right next to the door.
Don't take this as like a not all men statement when I say
Go
this.
ahead.
But that's always
I just
like
proved
my.
To you it's not all men.
No, I
really
get it. No.
Guys.
I just because I'm about to say something. I just don't want to be taken that way. This is like the thing that I always worry about that other people are gonna think of me. Like if I'm like walking down the street and like it's just a woman coming this way, I'm gonna be like, oh, she's probably gonna cross the street. She's gonna think I'm gonna do something, or I'm in a parking garage by myself.
Yep.
And
so if she does, just know
no,
it's
I'm not doing
personal.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Obviously, I get it, and I won't do or say anything. Right. I don't even remember any time that actually did happen. I just get paranoid about it happening anyway.
It's happened to me. I was at the gym.
End of joke.
Yeah, but I was on a treadmill and I was there first. These 2 ladies got on the 2 treadmills to my right and they're talking. I'm like, whatever. I'm just listening to podcast or watching the TV. I don't know. And then I must have been listening to. No, I'm sorry. I must have been watching TV because I hear one lady turn to the other and say, "This guy next to me is really creepy. I think we should go somewhere else."
Oh,
she met you?
Yeah, there was no other guy around, and
Oh my God.
They were like the guy in the theater. They got on the treadmills next to me. Now there weren't as many treadmills as there were seats.
So,
in the theater,
available.
but,
Sure.
I was.
Yeah, it's weird.
Wow.
It's weird.
No, that's weird. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
so
just one of those things where it's like you never know what's going on in somebody's head.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? If that's what they need to do to feel safe, it's not your job to convince them otherwise. It's especially if it's a stranger. And
that's
they're
why
walking
I
away.
would just kind of let it go. I'd just be like, yeah.
and that's what you do.
Blame
What are you
all the
gonna do?
assholes that scared them to begin with. That's really
fair enough.
But isn't that fun? Now this is what I love about movies and TV shows is that we got to that conversation starting with a discussion about a TV show.
Yes.
I'm just going to say that, I'm putting that out there every time I go to a cocktail party and I'm like, hey, you watch Fallout? No, but how were the Bears this weekend? Oh,
right.
All right. Well, it's a good place to end. Before we go, well, first off, Sean, I want to thank you so much for coming on our
it's
little
cool hanging with you, Sean.
humble show. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for filling in for Bear. I appreciate you. I want you to talk about your show. Tell everybody about it.
Okay, so I have two podcasts. Only one is with Rabbit Hole Podcasts. The other one is like betrothed to another podcast network. But
I'll edit that part out. I'm kidding.
No, it's okay. They don't mind. It's a Lemcast, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
They are the Lem, and I do a podcast called the Cabot Cove Confab, and each week, me and my friend Steve talk about an episode of Murder, She Wrote. I don't know. That's fucking it. Yeah, and I think we're the only podcast with two male hosts. Two drunk 2 drunk middle-aged male hosts who talk about Murder, She Wrote after about 2 to 27 minutes of pre-show banter. I also co-host excuse me, it was not on purpose. That was a mistake. I'm so sorry. The Best Picture podcast, where me and my co-host Eric, we draw a year at random, and then we talk about the nominees for Best Picture that year.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So right now we finished 1945, which was the year that The Lost Weekend won. And it's been a lot of fun. That year there were 5 movies nominated. It's just fun going through them all and seeing if the real Best Picture won Best Picture. Not that we're a judge of that, but believe it or not, that year Spellbound by Alfred Hitchcock was nominated. I don't like it. I'm so sorry. We both didn't like it.
Totally okay.
Wow. Okay.
Now we're doing 2007, and the other night we recorded for Juno.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
I
have it on DVD.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time talking about that film, which I didn't expect. So yeah, that's where I am.
It's fun.
All right, cool. Well, Sean, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are welcome anytime. You were a lot of fun. I
can tell you're crying.
I'm still crying from laughing from Lisa getting off on
Queer Eye. Don't name that episode. Lisa gets off on Queer Eye.
You just said title. Queer Eye. That's not the same as
Queer as Folk.
I swear you said Queer Eye.
I did not, because I don't watch it.
She did say Queer as Folk. I can back her up. I heard her say Queer as Folk.
Okay.
I
Queer as Folk. Yeah, there's some scene. Yeah, there's
Gail Harold. I'm
I like the blonde one, but okay.
Go restart that show right now.
I want to thank all of our Patreon members. Chris R. Thank you so much, Chris R. DeVern. Thank you so much, Vern. Carl. Who we hope is not in a ditch from laughing hysterically while listening to this. Lackey, thank you so much to Lackey. Toby, thank you so much to Toby. Kevin, you're awesome. Serena, you're also awesome. And Jace, you're also awesome. And I
We got a
forgot
lot
to
of
thank
awesome in our patrons.
I forgot to thank our $10 Patreon members, so that's on me. I
You did.
apologize.
You should record it and then like edit the episode and put it at the beginning.
I just
really.
made I
But
just
keep
made
this
do that.
in so they know.
I may
that you forgot.
do
and you-
that. If you want to be thanked personally by me at your house, you can go to patreon.com/rabbitholepods. $1 get you that privilege, and you get episodes early, and you get bonus content, and once a month you get to watch us riff on a movie. This month, in honor of Sir Roger Corman, who passed away recently, we are going to be watching his take on the Fantastic Four. Yes, Roger Corman made a Fantastic Four movie in 1994. Did you know that? Probably not. It'll be explained, so you can go to patreon.com/rabbitholepods. $1 will get you in. Lisa, thank you so much for being my patient co-host. We're gonna have to get you some sex therapy. Everyone out there, thank you so much for listening. Wash your goddamn hands and keep your head in the clouds and your feet in the mud. Adios. Copyright 2024 Rabbit Hole Podcasts, rabbitholepodcasts.com.